Mr. Speaker, I rise today to speak out for the good people of Iran who are protesting against an oppressive regime that has imposed tyranny on them for nearly 4 decades. Scores of people have been arrested and some killed for daring to speak out against their government. And, Mr. Speaker, they have good cause. For far too long, the authoritarian terrorists of Tehran have pursued an aggressive military build, a massive police state that oppresses its people. Since the Iran Revolution in 1979, their leaders have chosen global and regional conflict instead of promoting a healthy domestic economy and peaceful relations with their regional neighbors. I could spend a long time highlighting the litany of basic human rights violations of the regime as well. But the Iranian government's malfeasance, public corruption, and betrayal to their own citizenry needs to be brought to light on a world stage. Mr. Speaker, as recently as last year, in the State Department's annual country reports on terrorism, Iran was once again identified as the foremost state sponsor of terror. The crime and terror Iran spreads are conducted at the expense of ordinary Iranians whose taxes go everywhere but to themselves and their prosperity. The unemployment rate is over 12%, according to the World Bank, and youth unemployment is staggeringly high. And all of this despite Iran being rich in natural resources and having potential for having a great economy. 2 years ago, the U.S. entered a deal in hopes of encouraging a more peaceful Iran, not to mention passing along billions in direct cash payments to them. Furthermore, if that wasn't enough, it's been recently reported that the Department of Justice under President Obama abandoned a massive international narcotics investigation against one of Iran's international terrorist clients, Hezbollah, just to not upset the Iranian regime during the negotiation of the nuclear deal. That's right, Mr. Speaker. Hezbollah is not just in the global terror business. It is a transnational criminal organization that is a major global drug trafficker, including right here in the Western Hemisphere and Latin America. And for anyone that has not read the recent article in Politico magazine titled "The Secret Backstory of How Obama Let Hezbollah Off the Hook," it is worth your time. You will learn how Hezbollah is operating throughout Latin America and indeed facilitating the transfer of drugs into this country. Despite all of their contrition and deal-making, the Iranian regime has not changed. This perilous regime is still exporting and smuggling weapons to its clients in Afghanistan, Syria, Iraq, Yemen. Hezbollah and Iran continue to threaten Israel, among other nations, and are still a destabilizing force throughout the Middle East. After all of the Iranian regime's terror, crime, and corruption, do you think the Iranian people have benefited from this? Mr. Speaker, all you have to do is turn on the TV to see the Iranian people's answer, and it's obvious that they've had enough. This kind of tyranny does not belong anywhere, especially in the 21st century. The everyday people in Iran want the same thing the average Americans want: freedom to live without fear from their government, to live and work in peace, to be with their loved ones, and to worship as they see fit. The good people of Iran are standing up to tyranny, and we should stand with them. I want those protesters seeking freedom from oppression to know that we are with them, that the American people are with them.